My name is Judge David Lampe from Kern County.
Last month, Judge David Lampe from Kern County made a public appeal to the California Judicial Council to stop closing courthouses one day a month, a decision the council says it made because of the state's budget crisis. Lampe says his plea fell on deaf ears.
I believe that a lot of judges felt they did not have a sufficient voice in the decision that closed our courts.
That decision was made by the 27 judges who sit on the Judicial Council. They make statewide policy and administer the multi-billion-dollar budget for California's courts. Members of the Judicial Council are appointed by the Chief Justice of the state Supreme Court, who also presides over its meetings. The council staff is called the AOC, Administrative Office of the Courts. The court closures and employee furloughs have triggered an open revolt against the council by some of California's 1,700 judges. Judge Charles Horan is from Los Angeles.
A very insular, elite group of folks has run this branch now for 15 years or so.
Some judges began complaining that the Judicial Council and the Administrative Office of the Courts were becoming remote bureaucracies, all too powerful and all too secretive with the court's budget. Now, last September, these judges formed what they called the Alliance, a sort of pro-democracy movement. Is this something like Star Wars Alliance versus Evil Empire?
Yeah, you know, I must be truthful. There is a certain element of that, and you're not the first person to notice it.
Judges Horan and Lampe helped organize the Alliance, which now has more than 200 members from across the state. They're shopping a bill in Sacramento that would create an advisory group of judges from each of the 58 Superior Court districts to provide oversight on the Judicial Council's budget decisions.
The governance there is very much out of touch with the branch, out of touch with what's happening in the local courts, and out of touch with the view of the public.
Alliance members point to the expensive upgrade project for the court's computer system during these lean times.
They went from a month ago, apparently a $1.4 billion estimate, to now 1.7. It just, the numbers fly around and they're mind-boggling. It's $1 million per judge. $1 million per judge by the time they're done.
The Alliance complains that Judicial Council votes are almost always unanimous.
There are 21 voting members currently of the Judicial Council. Our research discloses that except for about 4 instances over the last 13 years, all of their decisions have been 21-0.
The Alliance says the council staff, the AOC, has grown to a huge bureaucracy of nearly 1,000 state employees. The AOC gave pay raises to dozens of staffers during the height of the budget crisis, when most judges took a voluntary 5% pay cut. This angers Alliance members like Judge Quentin Kopp of San Francisco.
It's incompatible with prudent administration of money. It makes no sense to be adding to compensation for people in the AOC.
The AOC counters by saying despite the pay raises, there have been voluntary furloughs and no cost of living increases.
So we've been very conservative in terms of our costs and payroll at the AOC.
Judicial Council members we spoke with bristled at the Alliance's criticism of them, saying their decisions are influenced by a broad spectrum of judges.
It's not just those of us sitting in that room, but it's about 500 judges around the state who sit on committees, who bring reports to us, and work very hard day in and day out.
Everything is vetted. Everything goes out for public comment. We seek public comment on every proposal, every rule, every idea.
The public. That's who the rebel judges say they're fighting for. After all, Judge Lampe says, it's the people's court, not theirs.
We do know the value of speaking with one voice as a branch. I think to speak with one voice, that voice must first be found. Work with us to give the people a voice. Thank you very much.
Vic Lee, ABC7 News.
We'll hear now from Mr. Chris Dolan, the president of the Consumer Attorneys of California.